Okay, GDQ submission, I guess. Um, Basically, at the beginning of this run, I'll be making sure that I have no saves, and time will start when I choose a character, and I play on easy, because it's the fastest difficulty, and there's no categories for other categories, or no category on speedrun.com for the other difficulties. Um, I'm playing on the GameCube version, which is significantly faster than the other versions due to it having much faster loads than PS2. And the Xbox version, while having faster loads, is like a patched version and doesn't have many of the glitches. So the GameCube version is the fastest version. Um, Yeah, so I will be playing as the dwarf because of a specific ability we'll get in Act 2 that makes him a little bit faster than the other characters. It's not super relevant, and I think his melee stats are a little bit higher. And time will start as soon as I press A. And I'm matching start immediately to skip a cutscene. And I'm still matching start because you can actually skip cutscenes before they come up on the screen in this game. So if I press it fast enough, it kind of came up there for a frame, but you can actually skip it before it even shows, so it'll go straight into the second loading screen. And this one's unskippable.
Haunting voice. You come to the Elf Song Tavern. It is a small place.
I'll be playing
with a motley
right off the bat. I'll be accepting
patrons.
the only quest in here that you can accept yet, which is kill 15 rats.
The haunting voice is all around.
And I'll be picking up an item,
And the patrons,
or hoping to get an item called a recall potion, which is used for
one by
recalling to the hub area in the act you're in,
lost.
which is this tavern in this act, and it'll be very useful in this run. And you'll see why eventually. I mean, it prevents a lot of backtracking on its own, but it also allows me to do a glitch later on, a wrong warp, which will skip most of Act 1. So for safety, right at the beginning of this run, I'll be breaking as many barrels as I can to try to get the recall potion. And this will actually also allow me to get a ton of health potions, which I normally wouldn't have in world record attempts, because in world record attempts I just pray to get a recall potion as fast as possible and then do that. But since I'm breaking so many barrels, I'll get a lot more health potions, which is actually safer and might save me a little bit of money. So, just killing rats and looking for a recall potion for a bit here. Could potentially reach some donations right off the bat. This is actually pretty bad luck. Usually, hopefully, get it by now. Those arrows, I do pick up if I get the chance, but like, they're not important enough to like backtrack for it. And in that chest, there's only a little bit of gold, so it's not really worth looking in. Still looking for a recall because it's really bad luck. And even if I don't get a recall at all, there's a backup, which I will maybe have to show here. But I should get a recall. It's very unlikely that you don't. If nothing else, I can actually kill the kobolds later on when they have a drop rate of recalls too. Oh, there's a recall. So yeah, almost always you should get a recall. It's very rare that you shouldn't. Oh my god. So there's an RNG chance that enemies in this game, after hitting you, can stun you for like a brief moment. And you just saw it there happen repeatedly, which is really annoying. I'll use a health potion here for safety. Stay high health. I have a lot of health potions. I've actually died to these rats before, which is kind of embarrassing, but it shouldn't happen ever. So I'll be saving here. Even though it looks like it's just a time waste, I actually do need the save later on to do a wrong warp. So it's not just a safety strat. And now I'll be skipping most of the enemies due to having a recall. If I needed the recall still, I could be killing these guys.
This looks
I'll grab that wine just to get a little bit of extra XP. And I'll just run to the end of this dungeon after grabbing what's in this chest. I need what's in this chest because it's a little bit of money, and I'm gonna need some money as the run goes on. So here I'm going to equip my best sword and my shield. Just run to the door and recall. You have to recall while on the ground, so I had to wait for him to land. So I'm gonna go immediately to talk to the girl to turn in the quest for the rat. She'll give me a key to the next part of the game. I'm gonna talk to this guy. And this is where that bottle I got, I turned that in, and now I can sell the stuff I picked up.
Got many fine deals. What are you looking?
And this will allow me to buy an extra 2 recalls and a health potion. And this will, and now I recall immediately and just mash X to interact with the door to immediately open the door before I can even see the screen. Like, yeah, I did see it for like a frame there again. I'm mashing pretty badly right now. And I'm matching start again because there's a cutscene, which I'm going to immediately skip as well. Okay, and now I'm going to set up another save for a wrong warp, and then I'm going to execute my first wrong warp. So basically I need to not overwrite the other save. Now I'm going to load that first save and go back to where it was. And I'm going to put my character in a very specific position because the game will use the coordinates that I'm standing on for this glitch. And I'm going to load in a second player right here. And I'm going to recall. And this does not waste a recall potion because this is on an old save. Which I won't be using again. So since I'll load back to their save for the wrong warp, this actually won't waste this recall potion. And I'll be deleting player 1 here because that makes the game really confused when I try to recall again. I'll try to recall here, and as you can see, it just won't happen, so I can just load game and load that other save that I had. And this will put me not even near where I was. It'll put me out of bounds in the final room of the part, and this is over up on the wall here. And if I get too close to this wall, it actually plays the boss cutscene. So I'm going to try to avoid that. It's not really a big deal if it does. I can skip it. And now I'm going to be doing glitch, which might fail a couple times. It's kind of inconsistent. But I just load in a second player. And by holding the opposite direction when you're out of bounds on a wall, you can kind of like... Yeah, you kind of like... It kind of pushes you back in bounds. It's the only way to really get back in bounds. And now I'll be using both controllers here simultaneously. It's kind of awkward, but I'm going to move that player closer to there. I'm going to go over here, grab the chest with the guaranteed recall, grab the weapon, and save. And now I'm immediately going to go up the stairs with player 2 on the other controller while I'm saving here. And I'm going to use player 2 for another wrong warp immediately. It's getting kind of crazy. It's fine. So, just making sure I line that up right. And I'm going to kick player 1 again, same action. It's the exact same thing. Luckily, there's some gameplay in this run. You're not just skipping everything due to, in a lot of the parts, wrong warping is actually slower, or there's no, like, good setup for it. So here, I'm going to load the new save I just made, which is going to put me at the end of this area. But I'm not going to just... Like, first of all, my camera's going to be glitched out, so I have to delete player 2. And, I'm not going to just go down the stairs immediately, because I'm going to do another glitch, which is a pretty cool one. I'm going to stand near the crypt and recall again. So there's a lot of loading screens here, it's kind of annoying. But now I'm going to leave the tavern while I press start, which is going to open the pause menu while I'm outside. This should work. And having the pause menu up on the screen means that I'll be able to move and open the save menu at the same time as I can recall. Which is gonna, I'm gonna line this up so that my save is on the cellar, which is good. And I'm gonna mash X here so that I go into the crypt immediately. And a cutscene is gonna play. And you can actually save during this cutscene, which puts you in the room the cutscene takes place in, which skips almost all of Act 1. It skips the crypt and it skips the Thieves Guild. So now I can load that save, which will take me straight to the Baldur Throne, which is the final boss for Act 1. So almost all of Act 1 is skipped. And not only that, this final boss is kinda glitchy. So I'm now gonna level up from the earlier level up I got. And put my point in death blow, which is crit damage. And pray that I crit. I'm just gonna mash through his text. And now I'm gonna jump off to the side a little bit, because he can use magic right off the bat, which he can. And once you get close enough to him, he'll only melee you. And because of the way I entered the room, okay. So if he uses that attack, I do have to dodge it. As you can see, if he uses magic, it's dangerous, but if you stay close to him, he won't use magic. So it should be a pretty safe fight. But if you do happen to die to this boss, it actually does soft-lock the game, so I will have a safety save so that I can reload this boss and try again. It's not too hard of a boss though, it doesn't do any damage once you get close like this, and it'll usually just melee. Sometimes you usually saw it, very rarely uses magic. And I can shield some of his magic attacks, so it's not a big deal. So I'm not gonna start to pause here, because of the way we loaded this room is really glitchy. Like, so if I actually pause there to level up, it crashes the game. So first I'm gonna leave the area, and the game will kind of fix itself. I'm gonna immediately press start to skip this. So that's Act 1. So there's 3 acts in this game. And this is the beginning of Act 2. So immediately I'm going to save over the Baldur Throne save, because I don't need that again. And load, do another run. I'm loading the Sewers 1 save I made. Which will take me all the way back to these rats in Sewers 1. And I will have to line up another run. Hit this lever, skip the This is where those health potions from earlier happen to help, because now I have a lot more health potions than I remember, which means that I can just do this normally and not worry about health at all. Sometimes I have to use my shield there. Not a big deal. So anyways, I'm going to recall and do another run warp, exact same way as the other ones. Just depends on where I'm standing at the beginning. So I'm going to kick player 1, and recall, and then load that original save I made on Windswalk, which will put me right at the end of Windswalk. And that should be the last wrong warp. Well, no, just 2 more, but the 2 later on. This is the last wrong warp in that consecutive series of skipping things. What? I just did something wrong. I might have forgot to recall. Anyways, if that happens, it's not a big deal. That was stupid. Me zoning out. But anyways, so that does lose a bit of time, like a minute or so, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to line it up. But basically, Windswalk is normally a very confined space. And it's very easy to die there. It's very dangerous. Sorry, it's for this. Anyways, add player. Do this again. So let's do this right this time. Recall. That was a pretty bad stuck. That can happen in this game. It's one of the common ways to die, which is why I'll be doing some safety saves in Act 2. Because you can get surrounded and just pounded on, and since you're under-leveled, you can't really do anything about it. So I think last time what I forgot to do was recall here first, and then load game. This time I'll recall, and then load game. And it's just the dumbest thing. Yeah. And this should put me at the end of Windswalk. Yeah. So I just have to go around this corner. Hopefully not die. And I'll be skipping a cutscene immediately. And there's like a black screen here. If you stop moving, it goes away. So basically with that level up from earlier, I'm going to be taking an ability called Bull Rush. And improved critical. And tough and dodge. And now, talk to this guy. I'm going to go back to the other guy over there. And execute some safety strats here.
How can I help
I'm going
you,
to not sell
Welcome, brother.
most of
If
this
you're
stuff.
in need of a weapon, you've come to the
But
right
I
place.
do need to buy some potions just for safety. And then I'm going to. And now this part of the run, I do actually have to play the game. So I'm just going to be jumping around and getting 3 objects. You probably could read some donations off here. Hopefully I don't die. It's not very common to die. I will be using some safety saves occasionally. It's kind of annoying to use safety saves because saving in this game takes a long time. On the Xbox version, it's actually almost instant, but unfortunately the Xbox version isn't playable. Basically trying to not use health potions if I don't need to here. But nothing can like one-hit me right now. So. But before the top, I will be using health potion just because the wolves up here are a lot more scary than these. I'm not even sure what those are called. I'm sure some D&D fan will be able to tell me. And I'm going to be doing a safety save here. Just in case. And these Yetis are also pretty scary too. They can hit you with a rock and slow you sometimes. That's a chance to slow you. If that happens, you can get hit by more rocks, and more rocks just fills up. Like kind of like this. And because with my new ability I actually got earlier, I can actually do that little dash move, which saves a little bit of time but uses mana. So I'm going to be saving again here just because this is an area where I can die. And I probably won't do any more saves up until the one I need for them. Okay, so in this area I will be grabbing a couple weapons off the stands because I'm going to be doing a duplication glitch later to allow me to get a really strong item, which will allow me to handle the boss in this area a lot easier. So I'm going to be going right first so that I can save with these extra items. Because if I go right, there's a bunch of stands in the next area, which will give me even more items. And normally in 80% you want to pray that you get the dupe within one try, but for marathon safety I'm going to be doing 2 dupes just to guarantee that I have enough money. So this hill, almost always, you're gonna get blocked. Almost always. You just have to hit the wolf a couple times. To watch your health there too, I almost died. Jesus. And then, just keep going around. And now normally I just cut straight to the thing I need, but here I'm going to take a straight path to these items. Jesus. Just grab as much stuff as I can. Because I'm going to be duping these items to sell them, to buy a really strong.
This looks important.
And I need that for the main storyline right there. And this bull rush ability is just fast. And now I'm going to be going to the other side to get the second item and setting up while I'm at it. Looks like I'm good. You can probably read some donations here as I'm just doing this. Okay, so I'll be saving here. Which will allow me to set up wrong warp later on. And it's also safe to save if I die. This area is actually pretty awful. In between that rock and the tree there, you can actually get stuck very easily. Sometimes the Yetis like to line up perfectly in between the rock and the tree and then surround you. And they can just kill you. And in this case, it's lucky. Nothing is really between the rock and the tree, so got out safely. I'll just be backtracking. Follow your directions. Now to be careful to leave that save. So when I do another safety save, I'll be careful to make sure I don't touch that save. Once again, a little bit more backtracking. You can just read donations through all
this. This looks important.
So now in the next area, not here, but in the next area, because the next part is actually really dangerous. I will be using a trick to try to get through it. But I'll also be using a safety save, because you can still possibly die. So I'll be saving here. Not saving over that save, saving over my Windslock save, because that won't be needed again. So there's these glowing white orbs, which just shred you. So just being careful not to. And right here, I'm actually gonna do a dude. I'm gonna drop everything I have, including this, and pause immediately. Change players and import my earlier character that picked up all those items, which is this one, and pick them all up again, so I'll have like a double of them, while all the enemies here disactivate for a little bit, because so I did a safety save here, luckily. You can just die here sometimes. They'll disactivate for a little bit, which will usually allow me to get past them, basically. So I'll be trying that again. This is one of the worst areas, and these things, you're just like so under-leveled compared to what you're supposed to do. It's not that die, so drop everything again. Change players, and bring us on the list. And I'll now be pick up the items. And I'll be trying to avoid them more safely this time instead of dashing through them. I'll be smashing health potions. Yeah, that looked armor clean. Okay. And now I just turn in the items I got, which will start a cutscene with the dragon. And I just get that cutscene immediately. And I can recall right after this.
Looks important.
And now I'll have a ton of items, but I will be doing another dupe. Just to make sure that I have enough money for what I need. So basically to do another dupe, I need to save here. And save not over Summit West, but make sure I save over Peak. And now I will drop all my items again. And I will import again. And I'll import that save I just made. And all the items will still be under me. Which will allow me to definitely have enough money to buy what I need to.
Swords, axes, hammers. We have more than enough
Way more than
weapons
enough.
for everyone.
Wow, okay.
How can I help
So
you,
I'm
brother?
going to do some safety strats with this, because that's a lot more money than I actually even expected.
Brother, if
So
you're in
Mithril
need of a
Scimitar
weapon,
is the
you've
weapon
come
we
to the
want.
right place.
And it's a very strong weapon. And I'm going to buy some armor while I'm here, which I normally don't do, but it's probably worth it. Just to make my run a little bit easier. And then buy
We have more
health
than
potions
enough
with the
weapons
rest.
for everyone.
And this will allow me to be super safe for the rest of the run.
How can I help you, brother?
Because I'm pretty much set now. I have everything I need. And I will be equipping that. And saving again, just in case. And I will now be doing the mines. Which is a scary part of the run sometimes. But these are the last couple wrong warps actually used in the game. So here, there's actually a cutscene of this door opening, like here, but you can skip it, but the door doesn't open. It's like still playing the cutscene, but you can move. It's kind of really weird. You'd think that the door would just open if you skip the cutscene, but it's like the cutscene's supposed to be happening right now, but I can't go in yet until the cutscene's done. And now there's going to be a ton of rats at the beginning of this area, and I'm still kind of underleveled, so I still have to be a little bit worried about dying. But basically I'll be coming to the save point and doing a safety save. And then handling a very dangerous area in the run first, before going on to get the rest of the parts. After this very dangerous area, the mines is generally a bit easier. So, just pathing over here. In this area right here, there's like one entrance, you saw that little gap there, and if they all decide to block that entrance, this can get bad. It's kind of luck-based, but even if I die, I have that safety save right there. Yeah, see, he decides to block this entrance. If like a bunch of them do, it can get bad. It's a pretty commonplace to these runs, especially without armor. Like there, I was taking a lot less damage than I would normally take. What? I got crit like 3 times consecutively there. Okay. Well, that's new. Anyways, that was really unlucky. This game is based on dice rolls like D&D, right? So the enemies there obviously rolled a natural 20 or something because Jesus, I took a lot of damage really fast even with this armor.
Found something.
So I'm going to be doing the same thing this time, hopefully not dying. And see, this time there's no enemy there at all, which is really nice. So I'm going to be trying to stay at higher health. Jeez, there's so many enemies right here. I'm going to just do another safety save, because this is kind of scary. And then, or should be good to do the rest of this map. That's supposed to be the hard part. The archers in this area are actually a lot stronger than the melee. The guys that hit you with the swords aren't that strong. So I'm just going to be going up to the top here and grabbing this piece.
Found something.
And I one more piece, but it's on the way to the thing, so I'm just backing up there to get around them, because you can just make them repath if they're in your way. It's pretty common that you have to deal with enemies in your way in this game. It's one of the biggest time limits. So, I'll now be continuing forward, and it should be pretty safe from here on out. Not safety saving there because the next area of this place isn't bad at all. Found something. I'm just gonna go up here and put the items to go to the next level. The reason we couldn't wrong warp through this level is because you need all three of those items, so wrong warping to all three of the items just isn't optimal. And now I'm gonna be doing a wrong warp. So I'm gonna save over my safety save here because I don't need that anymore. And this functions as a new safety save anyway. And then I'm going to load... Oh god, I think I have to load Sewers 2. Yeah, Sewers 2, that's right. I'm gonna grab my second controller again from earlier. And be mashing X, because from the earlier save, if you remember, my player 2 is right next to the stairs, so I can instantly touch the stairs and go up them, which I just did. That's why there's 2 loading screens. And now I'm going to line the character up in a little bit. I'm actually going to get the boss cutscene from earlier that I didn't hit, because I have to go too close to the wall. Yep, okay, so and now I just skip it and recall. I did a wrong warp in that same room earlier, but from the other side. So I'm just reusing the same saves, because saving again takes time in this game. If you can reuse the same saves, that's always optimal. And just doing a normal wrong warp like from earlier. Just gonna load the mine's level 2, which is gonna take me right to the end. I'm gonna be mashing X already, so that also that's the last time I'll need the second controller, so that I go down instantly. And I'm gonna be doing another wrong warp. This one's very precise because you have to go into a really small area. And this will be the actual last wrong warp in the run. Act 3, well, I have to fight the dragon in Act 2 still after this, but Act 3 will involve absolutely no wrong warps. It's just not worth it because of how slow they are, or like how much setup they involve, and there's no good setups for the ones in Act 3. So I'll be lining up like right here specifically. This should work. If not, I can just try again. It's very precise, so like sometimes you'll kind of end up in the wrong spot off this one. But I should be good. Recall, load game, and load into my Drought Underworld, which should put me right after the boss. Yep, and I can talk to him. And that will actually skip fighting the boss, which is very convenient. So now I'm actually moving on to the final boss of this area. And I'm going to do a safety save once I'm inside the cave. I'm just going to use a couple of dashes. So this is coming up on the end of Act 2, and Act 3 is pretty short in comparison to Act 2. Act 2 is most of the run, what you just saw. This dragon coming up is probably the hardest fight, or the hardest part of the run even, so it's very likely that I could die here. But I will save right outside it, so it's not a big deal. It shouldn't be too hard to deal with this much gear, but this boss has a chance of doing something really dumb. And when you're this low level, it one-hits you. but usually you don't have to get hit by it. But sometimes the boss can shoot its fire backwards through itself and hit you, which will stun you sometimes, and if it stuns you, then he can hit you with the one-hit attack sometimes. You can't deal with it. But other than that, I should be fine. That's a pretty rare thing that can happen. It's just really frustrating when it does. Other than that, I shouldn't die unless I play awful. Are you kidding? Where am I? Oh, jeez. Okay, so in the actual GDQ run, I will safety save. That's the lesson learned. I have never died there before. I just got shredded. So I will safety save before that. There's plenty of... I'll do it this time. But, Jesus. I'm getting shredded in this run. This is awful. That's frustrating. So there's no reason for me to lose this much time. Or safety saves. I'll save right here, even. So just in case I die in the next area or something. And so yeah, my save is way back before even I talked to this dwarf here, so I have to just do this again. Which is really unfortunate, but I'll make sure to safety save if I do an actual run. And now I'll just go into the next area and safety save right away. So I don't have to do that again. I can save right there, but there's a save right at the beginning of the next area, so it's not a big deal. And since I'm not wrong warping at all anymore, I don't need any more of these saves. I can just save whatever one. So I'm just going to be overwriting the same save. And I'll save inside the cave again.
I'm exhausted.
It's always refreshing to see how easy you can die in this game sometimes. Jesus.
I'm exhausted.
So I'll save inside this cave, just in case I die again. Which shouldn't happen, but... shouldn't is the keyword. Normally looks like. Even if you get stuck, it's usually not a big deal, but you just got destroyed. A little bit of a cutscene here that you can't skip, just like that cave cutscene earlier. I don't know why you can't skip these ones. It's kind of weird, but just introducing these cat things that turn invisible. I'm just gonna heal the full here because these things, if they crit, can do almost all of your health, and if two of them hit me at the same time, it's kind of risky. Doesn't happen. So I'm gonna be saving here too because the next area is actually. I don't die here very often, but I've seen other people die here a lot, and I'm sure it can happen to me. So I'm just gonna take the risk. So I save here, and I'm gonna save once more right before the boss. Which is a lot of saves. So this guy is the main reason why people die here, is if he hits you with a rock, it's very likely to slow you, and their accuracy is actually really high. Like right now I'm getting decently lucky, not getting hit. And then, especially these wolves too, they like repeatedly slow you. So this is the save right outside the boss room. And there's one more frost giant in the way, and then I'll fight the boss. That's the closest save to the boss room. This is the boss room coming up. I have a lot of health potions and a really good weapon, so I'll be able to handle this boss a lot faster than we used to do with the old route before we got this scimitar. We used to come over here and open these chests, which we still do, but we'd pray that we got a good weapon from these chests. We used to just come here without doing the duty. Which is... yeah, so that can happen. And then you're slow as heck. I'm just gonna grab some stuff. So he's gonna fly. I'm just gonna bullish beside him. I'm just gonna stomp him. I hit him a couple times. That's basically the pattern here. He's basically gonna breathe fire. I'm gonna hit him a couple times. He's gonna stomp. I'm gonna move away. I'm gonna hit him a couple times. And he's gonna push me away when he flies. I heal. It's just a repetitive pattern. Sometimes those ice balls can go backwards and stun you, and then he stomps on you. Which is like a combo that people almost always could. But it's very rarely happens. So as you can see, those points I put in crit earlier coming in handy here. Doing a lot of damage. From stomp. That was really weird. His animation broke. The fire didn't come out. Ice fire. I just let him hit me there because I knew it wouldn't kill me. And he actually gave me a lot of levels up. So that's Act 2. And now I'm like leveled high enough that I will be able to handle Act 3. Which is convenient because like that boss just gives you so many levels, which is what makes this run like actually like viable. So I'm just gonna repeatedly unpause so I can get all my points at once here. Which yeah, okay, got it. Which makes this a lot faster. I'm just gonna go improved critical, all of this, and then the rest of that, and dodge. Whoops. Anyways, safety save, and there will be no more tricks or anything for the rest of the run. It'll just be 2 boss fights and running to the end. But this area is pretty boring, so you could probably read donations here. I will be just traveling through this temple, which is very short, and then I'll be traveling through a large open area for a couple minutes, maybe like 2. Okay. I should use optimal talking to this guy. You have to say specific things. So I'm just gonna look at his
our land was the
stuff that he's offering. I'm just gonna sell this. And make sure that I have enough health potions, which I certainly do. Now here, these actually aren't the greatest because you can buy bigger health potions now, which I'm gonna do. Which should help me out with dealing with these enemies coming up. Now I'm gonna safety save. I don't need to safety save here. I actually have to do it. It's very, very rare to die in this area. Like, I don't think I ever have, but it's a super safe area. Especially since you just got over-leveled, and the enemies here are kind of weak compared to the level they set you to. Even, like, you'd normally even be a higher level than this, maybe. Like, 1 or 2 levels higher through casual playthrough. Maybe even more. Basically, he opened this door here, so I can come back and do this. And then I'm just gonna save once more in this area. And I probably never die here either, but I don't think I've ever died here. It's like, this is a part of the run where actually, like, doesn't feel like you're underleveled. Like, the enemies don't strike you. You saw one hit me there, it does, like, no damage almost. I'm actually out of mana potions, which I forgot to buy. Or actually, so. Anyways, it's not a big deal, I just have to jump the rest of the way. But if I had mana potions, I could just dash the entire way across. Which I'm not sure actually how faster it is, but it certainly looks faster, so. Now there's a specific thing I have to get on at the end of this area. So I'm going to turn on the auto map for the first time this run. In the GameCube, it's kind of annoying to turn on because you have to use the start menu, while on PS2 and Xbox, it's binded to a button on the controller. It's not a big deal. So I should be this one. It's kind of hard for me to tell where it is still. They all look kind of similar in that area. Now I can shut the map off. And pretty much just be running to the end here. Another super easy area where you can't really die. These lizards are really underpowered. Maybe they're stronger if you try to fight them, I don't know. But running past them is certainly really easy compared to the other monsters, because these are decently slow. And, like, they just tend not to hit you. When they do, it doesn't do much damage, so, like, I don't know why it's the final area in the game. It seems kind of weird. They decided to do that. So I'm gonna do a safety save. Actually, next I'm just gonna go past this loading screen and then safety save, because save right inside here. And it's possible to die here, I think, like, I don't think I ever have, but it seems like it's very possible to die here because the pathway is small. So if you get ridiculously unlucky and get blocked, you could probably die on these little paths. Especially if you get blocked and surrounded and you're standing on that fire that they throw at you, that could probably kill you. So, just a save. I'm gonna do one more safety save inside here. Or two more, but I'm just gonna do one because the area right before this boss is kinda scary. You don't die here often, but it's possible. I think I have before. And dude, I'm saving before the boss because you can certainly die to the boss. I've died to him a couple times. He's not that hard of a boss, and when it does look clean, it'll look like really easy. But sometimes he hits you, stuns you, and then hits you again, and you just die. Because he like 2 hits you, so that's scary. But he shouldn't hit me at all. So yeah, this area here is why I saved. You can just die there sometimes. And I'm gonna save again for the boss. Still don't know how to pronounce this boss's name. I don't know, it's just a lot of S's. Seth. So I'm gonna get around him and just kind of exploit the combat system in this game, and he's not gonna be too. You can. This is actually like a pretty decent strat for like challenge runs and extreme runs too. He'll just never hit you. When you stun him, you can actually go for more risky stuff like that and hit him a couple times. I was just taking it safe because marathon safety. Like, if you want to just never get hit by him, you can just do the one occasional hit and keep running in circles. This is a lot harder to do with 2 players because you like switch his path. Okay. And pretty much the final area of the game. I'm just gonna do a safety save here, even though I don't think you can die in this area. The enemies here are just way too useless. None of them have like ranged attacks, so when you're just jumping by them, they don't really do anything. They actually do have ranged attacks, but I'm pretty sure the ranged attacks are so like inaccurate that they don't matter. And they just never seem to use them. And there's these things that come out of the water here. They're giant things, but I don't actually know how strong they are really, because they just sit there and don't really do anything. Never really been hit by one, so. There's a giant one here too, but I don't know how strong it is either, because you can just walk behind it and go in the door. Good game. I'm gonna save here. Now, I'm right before the final part of the game. And this is just gonna be like a final sprint to the end here, so you'll see how this goes. The final part of the game is a very scary area. Like, it's such a stressful point it runs, especially when you're on good pace. You very easily die here. So if I go fast enough, you can kind of see the level loading in as I get to the area where I have to go. It's kind of funny. That doesn't happen on Xbox, just on PS2 and game. So here's the last area of the game. I just have to talk to Lizard Boy and then say I'm ready to go. He opens the path and I jump down. And now, any armor or like any weapons are gonna get severely upgraded because this area of the game it just has chests in it that give you top tier items, and even though you don't need top tier items to make it here, obviously from what I'm under leveled and have like pretty weak items compared to what you're supposed to have here, but like the game now decides that since you can't recall anymore, I think it decided to just give you all the stuff you'll need in the chests. So I'll just be taking the safest and most semi-optimal path to the end. I don't know if there's a faster path than this, but this is pretty close. I think this is the fastest path too. It's also definitely the safest. So. I'm just gonna do a safety save here. This next room has like 3 things that can. If one of them stuns you, you just die. But usually they don't. Usually they don't even hit you. But you'll see. He hit me, but I didn't get stunned, so that's good. So you can like save a lot in this area. They gave saves like every 2 seconds because of how dangerous it is. Especially if you're trying to fight these things without like recalling. So I'm actually full on inventory here, which is kind of funny. So I'm just gonna drop stuff that I'm not using. I still have the level 1 shield. Whoops, I didn't. Whoops, this is bad. I might die here. Kind of stuck. Okay, I somehow. That's lucky. Jesus Christ. I don't want this stuff. So. Basically, what I'm trying to do here is get stuff out of chests to upgrade my character enough to take on the final boss, and at the same time survive. You can just get pounded on my enemies here and just die. I'm kind of surprised I didn't die when I got surrounded. That usually happens. That if you get surrounded in the Onyx Tower, you usually just die. So. Since I have so many health potions compared to what I normally do, I usually have like 10 or something coming into this. But that second dupe earlier ended up giving me so much money that it didn't matter. So I'm just gonna try to get stuff from chests as I go. I'll progress here, and pretty much there's only like 2 floors left of this area. And I got a better sword, pretty good bow, but I don't need it. Yeah. Just dropping stuff so to make sure that I'll still have space to pick up stuff. Since I have so many health potions, it's actually using my space up. So these guys with the spinning swords or whatever are super strong. They can shred you. They're probably the second scariest enemy in the Onyx Tower. Just have to be careful. There's a room with 2 of them coming up, which is a place where I've died a couple times. Not this room, actually, the next room. But this one does have 2. Should be right up here. There's one guy like right in front of me here. Combined with this guy, and like if they both corner you there, it's just game over. Anyways, second last floor, and then the final boss. So I'm gonna save here because this is a very common death area. I actually had to practice this quite a bit to be able to get through here somewhat consistently. But basically, I'm gonna go right, and I'm gonna hug the bottom wall here because there is a fire cannon that hits and blows up the explosive barrels on the top part. And if you're close enough to those explosive barrels, they just kill you. So that's cool. So I'm just gonna save here for safety. And I'm kind of hoping for a better weapon before I exit this floor because the weapon I have right now is actually pretty suboptimal. Hopefully that weapon I picked up a moment ago was decent. It's kind of random. I should still be able to handle the final boss with this. I mean, I will be able to. It might be slower and I might have to do more safe strats. It's gonna take a little. Still have that ability. And this is the last floor before the final boss. And this is actually the easiest floor in the Onyx Tower, funnily enough. These spiders, like any floor with like generally only melee stuff or a very small amount of ranged creatures is like, very weak. These fire towers are kind of scary, but grab some stuff from the chest. I just went through it. First time in ages. Jesus. I'm kind of out of it. So, I haven't done this in a long time, but there's a room off to the right here. Or no, it's... Where am I? I should probably read the map on this here. But, generally... Oh... Wait, no, I'm not. Where am I? So... No, I didn't. I guess I was going the right way. Sorry about the map. What did I mess up? This should be fine. Did I mess anything up? No, it's not looking. So, basically this is the last room right here. And you can kill this guy for a good weapon drop. I went the right way the entire time. There's only one way to go. I don't know why I thought there was. Something in the scenery made me think I was in the wrong place. So anyways, here I will check my armor and whatnot, make sure I have the best stuff on. I think I'm pretty under-geared actually for this, so it's kind of going to be scary. I'm just going to set up the final boss. I have to say the other option. I just... Okay. See what I have. It's 12 to 63. 34. No, I don't have a good weapon. It's unfortunate. Okay. Ammo to strength. use 2 ring of strength. Yeah. Okay. That should actually give me quite a bit of strength. So I am now going to fight the final boss and pray that she doesn't kill me. But I should be fine. I can just mash health potions with how many I have. Hold the right trigger. She's not too difficult of a boss. But if she crits, it's almost all of your health. So if she crits and stuns you, she just hits you again, you die pretty often. But if you're lucky enough, it shouldn't happen. There are some safe strats to do here. I should make this fine. So I'm going to try to jump down. I'm going to shield her first, sword throw. Or not. Oh god. Okay. So this can happen. So I'm just going to shield that sword throw. And hit her a couple times. And then she's going to go like this. I'm going to get close before she finishes. I'm going to start hitting her. And try to jump around her here. Try to hit her a couple times. And make this the last phase start. And do it again. It's the exact same thing. As you can see, this is not too bad of a boss. It's just... And now, this is the only disadvantage of the GameCube version. You have to watch this cutscene. The PlayStation version does not. You can skip this on PlayStation.
And so it has come to pass that I shall die twice. And this second time shall be the last.
This will be a cutscene, and then time will be coming up right after this minute-long cutscene, minute 20-long cutscene.
This place. I ask your forgiveness.
Time will be as soon as I enter the
Let
portal.
anger cloud my vision. I harmed those who had sworn to serve me. In all these things, great harm has been done. Let Baldur's Gate have its peace. I shall not.
And this run was
rise again
already
to
pretty
challenge
much a
it.
worst-case scenario.
I
But
will doubtless need others such as you to defend it.
so there was one death
Now,
in this run.
leave me to die. This tower.
At
shall
the
be
Act
consumed.
2 Syraxis Dragon, where I lost like a solid 2 minutes to nothing just to me not saving. So with more safety saves, this should be fine. And I'll have an extra save for the room at the beginning that can softball. But essentially that should be it, and time is coming up. And that would be time.
In the flash of the portal's light, Eldrith's tower was no more. Lightning rained upon the tower, and flames as if from within. And thus, in a storm of fire and lightning, Eldrith died her second death. But it was all part of a much larger
Cliffhanger.
design.
It is done. Eldrith is undone. And her threat to us and our plans has been ended. And the Harper that defeated her, killed. Now we may continue without interference, Master.
Where did the portal lead? It led to a far distant land, far from Baldur's Gate, far from the Sunset Mountains, far from the marsh of Chalimber, and far from safety. But that is a tale for another time.
And that's my run.